Please take note, this will only be a review for Attack on Titan Part 1. My review for Attack on Titan Part 2, End of the World, will happen much later on, so don't worry. Attack on Titan is directed by Shinji Higuchi, written by Yusuke Watanabe and Tomohiro Machiyama. It's based on the manga created by Hajime Isayama and stars Haruma Miura, Kiko Mizuhara, and Kanata Hongo. It's just fun saying Japanese names. Now, Attack on Titan takes place in this world where humanity has started to kind of retreat behind these huge walls that they've put up to block out these huge indestructible man-eating titans that are roaming around. But technology has been advancing and they are sending out this scout regiment now to patch up a hole in one of the outer walls where the titans are coming through. A funny story about this movie, I watched it when it came out in cinemas and I hated it. And then school happened, so I forgot about it for a long time, and before making this review I wanted to rewatch it so I could critique it properly, and I ended up having fun with the movie. And I honestly have no idea why. I mean, I will still retain that the Titan design in this movie is really good. I will still retain that a lot of the anime elements that they try executing in this movie really fall flat. But it's just such a bizarre movie that I don't know if the bizarre style actually saves the movie or makes it just like so bad it's good. First of all, like I just said, I think the overall Titan design is still really cool to look at because they're hideous and they're scary and they look like they're from an Aphex Twin music video. If you don't know what that is, go YouTube search it. It's gonna be interesting. But seriously, the combination they use here of green screen and people in costumes and CGI actually makes them look so alien that it kind of works, you know? Like, they're just so unsettling to look at. And in general, I do think that the cinematography and the production design, at least when they use real sets, is generally good. The sound design for these titans is really cool as well. I gotta admit how creepy they sound when they laugh or when they growl and whatnot. And I know it's unfair to compare every movie out there to Hollywood standards of production, so I'm not gonna do that here. It's just, objectively speaking, there is a lot of CGI here that is done kind of poorly. But the weird thing is, when I rewatched this movie, it came across to me as like, you know, B-movie vibes. It's like these old kaiju movies where people are dressed up in suits. It really came off like that and it was a bit charming. There are quite a few suspenseful moments in this movie thanks to the pace that editor Yusuke Ishida sets to match the slow but still terrifying movements of the titans. And the story itself benefits a lot just from the strength of the concept of the source material alone. And rewatching this movie, it really helped me see that there really is at least an attempt to address various themes when it comes to warfare in the script. And I'm really only gonna single out one performance here. It's from Kiko Mizuhara, who plays Misaka. And I found myself really buying into her portrayal of this character. Like, she's really been through so much. And I have no idea if fans of the manga and anime hate me right now for all the opinions I'm giving, but that's not where I'm coming from. I've never seen the anime, I've never read the manga. And director Shinji Higuchi seems to be a lot more in control of the movie during slower scenes that take more inspiration from horror movies than from the anime. He really captures the desperation of fighting these things. But like I said, this is a weird mixed bag of a movie. Like, I have a lot of issues with it as well. In particular, there's a middle portion here that really just screeches to a halt, and that's a big issue for me. But in general, this movie really just starts getting really silly once the more outlandish anime-ish stuff starts happening, especially like the action scenes where people have to start using their ODMGs or whatever they're called. It's just so hard to follow. The direction is really clunky. A lot of the actors overact. Some of them feel like they're trying to play anime characters in a live action movie, and sometimes they gurgle unnaturally. And the script in general does have just way too much exposition, and the characters here are mostly fodder. They're mostly expendable. If you turn this movie into an American slasher movie, the characters would remain exactly the same. There's not a lot I can say about Attack on Titan just because I'm so on the fence about it. For now, I'm gonna say it's okay, but it's hard to recommend to both fans and non-fans of the movie, but it's so bizarre that you still might like it. I really don't know where I stand right now. I might change my mind later on, we'll see. Alright, so those are my thoughts on Attack on Titan. Have you guys seen it? Whatever you thought, whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.